Okay, this is going to be 243. Now I got to make these brackets up. Let me see if I can put you down here. These brackets I've got to get the right angles. So I thought, yeah, that's good. Well, it is and it isn't. Then I have two dilemmas. One, do I bend this so it's at an angle? Or two, do I cut this at an angle? You can guess what I decided. I'm cutting this because that needs to come up to be level. However, if I try and bend this to get the angle right, is just going to be a bloody nightmare. So I figured I'll do flat like that, but then I'll cut this at an angle so that I keep the condenser straight. Not yet sure how or where I'm going to put it. I mean, I don't need much of a gap. I think I'm going to come up and butt up in here. Just butt up in there, and that should make my life a lot easier. So you're having to ride along with me while I think about how I'm going to do this, and I want one up there and one down here, and then it's a matter of how far. Hang on a second, let me show you what I'm talking about. So then it's how far. I do need to move it over, but the reason I'm saying that is because of the connections for the top and the bottom of the condenser. Let me show you, see if it'll let me. Zip. You see, I have these connections that I have to allow for, and because I've got to allow for those, I may have to move the condenser in this direction slightly. What I have to do is, oh, there's my washing machine. Oh, that's the tumble dryer, I lie. What I have to do is get the connections that will go on here, which are, and if it'll let me turn you, this one here and that one over there. Hang on, that one over there. So I'm going to put those on and see how much room they really need. Now, they won't be coming out at right angles from the condenser. They will be coming out and going down because, as I've mentioned before, I've got to cut a hole through here for the pipes to go through. And believe me, that is not something I'm looking forward to. I've got to make the holes. I'm trying to decide, do I drill 2 round holes and see if I can find a grommet that's big enough, or do I try and do a groove? My initial thoughts are I'm going to do 2 round holes. The chances of me finding a grommet are a darn sight better than trying to find some kind of sleeve. We used to have it in England when I was an electrician, special sleeving that would go over sharp metal edges, but I haven't seen it here in America. I think I'll have to do some research in my local hardware store and see what they've got with regards to grommets and or sleeving. I could probably make something, but I'd rather have something that's pre-made. I guess it's time to go shopping. Yeehaw, more fun at the fair. So this is my condenser. These are the connections that came with the kit. So I'm trying to have to use them. Now, these hoses are stiff, to say the least. That one I could really do with a right angle. This one I could really do with it not being a right angle. And no, people, you can't swap them because they're different sizes, top to bottom. They have to be for the air conditioning. And this obviously dictates how and where I mount it. I might try and get a right-angled connection for this so that I don't have to push it over that far. I'll just chop this off and trash it. I don't have a choice. What do I lose? A connector and a bit of a hose pipe. But I'm going to have to find a place, and I don't know where they are, that stock these items. More fun of the fair, kids. Yeah, not sure how I'm going to resolve this yet, but it has to be resolved in order for me to make up the brackets to mount it in the front of the... Oh, excuse me, hiccups. In the front of the car. Yeah. I mean, I've got to try and turn this hose to go through, so that's not terrible. I could probably do that when mounting the condenser up high. And with this one, well, hang on a second, let me change hands, as I often do. Hang on, I'm just trying to see how much. If I get that over there, then I can probably bend it through. But it does mean that I've got to try and make this condenser be mounted as far to the left as I can. And that's okay, as long as I've got the airflow through it, which, that's not going to be an issue. I just wanted it central because this would look pretty central, but we'll see. I'm going to have to procrastinate and think about this and do some research and see if I can find some of these connectors. Yeah, it never rains, but it fucking pours, doesn't it? Oh dear. Dave, Classic Car Cave. Isn't this fun with all the shit we go through? Why do we do this? Guess we just like a challenge. Ha! And living with a classic, if you watch my channel. Yeah, you know, don't you? Why do we do this? Because we love these classics. And no, I'm not trying to miss anybody out. They were just the first two that came to mind. Channels that I follow. Damn it, Muskie. Alright, let's get on and see what I can find. Here is the tap now fitted. This is an engine block tap. It's the same thread as the radiator tap. And before I bought it, I got my supplier to check that out and make sure that was true, which he did very helpfully. And I will put his details in the link. His name is Jack White. But I'll put the details so that anybody that needs Jaguar parts for old classic Jaguars, saloons that is, give him a call. He's in Luray, Virginia. I'll put his number in there, and he is called Jagnut, and he is a nut. Very helpful chap. This is the old original radiator tap with I've got the rod and the bracket that holds it to the radiator, so if anybody needs that, give me a shout. Maybe we can come to some kind of financial arrangement, because I believe these are quite rare, just to get the correct one. And this one has been blasted and clear lacquered, and works perfectly. Again, another precision fit connection on these. It amazes me there's no seals of any description. It's just such a precise fit. Love it. All right, now let's get on with the task of these brackets for the condenser. And now that I've got the radiator out, I'll be able to decide about the holes for the rubber hoses, well, for the air conditioning hoses, and a wire. Here is a lineup of the cutters that I'm going to use. In fact, there's only two that I'm going to use, and it's these two here. These ones are for the big hose and the little hose, and I'm going to use them to cut holes in my bodywork. Oh, this is not going to be fun. So let me get them set up and ready. I won't show you me cutting it. I will show you afterwards. Oh boy. Well, here are 2 pilot holes ready for me to make the big cut. Wish me luck. So I go down to my local Ace store and I say, look, I'm cutting 2 holes, this size and this size. I need rubber grommets. So the guy checks through rubber grommet selection. Nothing that big, sorry. What's going through it? All right. Yep, air conditioning hoses, they're rubber. And I need to protect them because I don't want them being cut. Hang on a minute, he says. I've got an idea. And he trundles away, and takes me with him, of course, and comes up with a perfect solution. These 2 bungs. Now, I don't know what they're for, but I can cut the plastic piece out here, make it look pretty neat, and it will protect the hose. That one's that one, that one's that one. I don't know which is which. They're both pretty fucking good anyway. So it's going to work for me. This is what happens when you go to your local hardware store rather than one of the big conglomerates where you walk in and say, I want rubber grommets, and they say, no, we've got nothing that size, go away. This guy thought and helped me. He came up with a solution for my problem. This is why I love to support the small local store, and it's also, you kind of get a rapport with the people. They see you often enough. It's really worthwhile. If I can avoid the big stores, I will. There we are. That's the first hole cut. Now I've got to do the second one. Believe me, this brings tears to my eyes. However, anybody want to buy a piece of a 1964 Jaguar Mark II? Needs slight repair. I'm sure you can build a car just starting with this piece. Might take a little while though. Now let me cut the second hole. Oh fuck. Alright, so we've got this grommet. This is a good size for one of the holes. The other hole, I've not had so much luck. Found a couple of grommets, but they really don't work. My plan now is to take a piece of rubber hose, cut it, slit it, and form a sleeve. Yeah, done this before when I was an electrician, and it works well. So let me see what I can do. Okay, I have, sorry about the echo, I've got my head in the car, found a couple of grommets items I can use. The top one there is a grommet plastic, but it will stop the hose from being cut. The bottom one is a piece of washer pipe, and I've sliced it and super glued it. We will see if that works. This is just to protect the hoses as you know, they pass through metal, and that metal is sharp. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a grommet big enough for the bottom one, but I'm just going to have to live with it. That's all there is to it. Okay, we'll now back out of here. We will look at the front of the engine and go, gosh, that's fucking gorgeous. And no, of course, the pulley's not on, you know. All right, a very short video again. Thought you guys might like it, so get out in that garage. Go do some shit whilst I wait for the glues to set. Oh, I've got to cut more holes in the bodywork to get it to the interior. Yeah, such fun.